Now, forecasts for our economic climate are gloomy. Of course, the latest consumer data showing as shoppers continue to tighten their purse strings and snap shut their wallets. It's certainly looking to be a tough year ahead, therefore, for retailers. But there is one group that does both have money as well as the motivation to spend it. According to marketing agency Wise, the 50-plus age bracket is proving one of the most lucrative and fastest growing markets. Joining me now for some more insights, Nadia from Wise. A warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
Really, we've had these myths for some time. You've done a bit of debunking. In the round, what are your conclusions?
Look, I think it's a really critical time for Australian businesses to be tapping into the mature market and engaging the ageing. Fact is, the over 50s control the largest portion of Australia's wealth. It's actually around $218 billion in their back pocket. And they have a discretionary spending power 30% higher than any other group in Australia. So it's really an untapped marketplace, and I think Australian businesses need to be tapping into it.
And tapping or clicking could well be the language, because we think of online as being, well, it's Generation X, Y, and whatever else you like to put on it.
Yeah.
But this series of findings kind of goes against that.
Well, that's right. I mean, one of the biggest myths we've debunked is that they're not internet users. They actually are. The over 50s are the fastest group of internet users in Australia. And what are they doing online? They're commenting on blogs, they're looking up products and services, and what's really scary for Australian businesses, they're actually buying products and services offshore. So we're actually losing money to offshore markets. So Australian businesses really need to be looking at their online strategy for the over 50s.
And it's not kind of necessarily an either-or, though, or is it? Is it so fast-moving now that you get a sense that they have shifted entirely across from a high street approach, and the over 50s are really, that's the place to be from the comfort of the lounge room, or not? They'll still venture out.
Look, I think it's a mix, yeah. They'll do both, that's right. But I think, you know, after the GFC, people are looking for, and particularly mature Australians are looking for value-add and high-quality products. And I suppose it's online is where maybe the communications offshore are resonating more with them than what Australian businesses are doing. I think that's the trick.
Tell me about one massive spend or saving, as it would be, and that is you know, assets in the round, particularly the home. I mean, the idea that we pass things on to the next generation, we save and put a nest egg away for you know, our offspring, that one, where are we at? Yeah,
look, the myth that they're saving for their children's inheritance, yeah, that's not true. And I think there's a term called skis, I'm not sure if you've heard of that, which is actually spending kids' inheritance. It's been a bit of a joke with the mature audience, which I think is great, but really it goes beyond just they're spending it on themselves. They're actually more likely to spend it on their children while they're alive, so they can see them set up and enjoy their life now rather than leave it to them in an inheritance. So that's important in terms of businesses looking at them spending. It's them and their children.
This idea as well that if they're doing that, there's little time to sort of go out there and engage with the next generation, particularly, you know, their grandchildren. Where are we at with that?
Yeah, look, the other myth is that they're hands-off grandparents, and that's not true. They're actually very hands-on. They're actually very engaged in their grandkids' life. And a study that we did with parents recently showed that 85% of parents describe the relationship between their parents and their children as either close or very close. So, you know, there was also a bit of jealousy, the fact that their grandkids, well, their children had more money and time spent on them than they did themselves with their own parents. And, you know, the grandparents today, the mature audience, are the largest group of informal caregivers. So, yeah, they're absolutely spending time. They're engaging with their kids' and grandkids' lives.
As a group, where are we at with spending power? You know, the idea that this block is one that you ignore at your peril.
Yeah.
What are they going into? If they're searching at will online, what tends to be the things that they're going back to time and again?
I think it's the high quality products. That's what they're looking for. Quality above price, believe it or not. They want something that's going to be long lasting. They're leading the way in a range of categories. So, you know, luxury cars in Western nations, 80% of luxury car sales go to mature Australians. 40% of new cars go to them. Also high-end cosmetics, appliances, pet care, you know, there's a range of things that they're touching. And I suppose spending throughout their generations, their kids and their grandkids, imagine the products that they're buying for them as well. So.
How often are you planning to sort of take this snap view to begin to see the trend for what it really is?
Yeah, look, I think it's a continual thing, and we're going to have to keep researching and keep touching the market. But I think we're definitely going to have to do it yearly for the next 5 years to at least get a good idea. I suppose the peak in population growth will be 2032, so that's 20 years away. But we want to be tracking it up until then. So,
do you worry that some people who should be answering don't, and vice versa? That the people that will give you the time to actually fill out a survey, not really giving you the best overall representation?
Well, no, I'm not worried about that. Our agency actually has what's called the WISE Feel Age Forum. So we focus on feel age, not real age. That's how people feel on the inside. Right. It's actually an insight from research we've done where people say, Nadia, I look in the mirror, I'm 75, I feel 42.
And vice versa, I can say I feel like 80. So, I mean, I could be answering this and skewing the results.
That's right. But we ask them to conversate with us. So we bring them online, subscribe to our website, and we send them out products and samples to test and try. They give us feedback, so they get free things in exchange for their information. And we also test advertising with them. So we get really great insights and feedback for our clients. So, yeah, I suppose it's two-way. It's conversation. It's not just us picking up the phone and asking questions.
Nadia, Henry, that's encouraging, because the old cold calling is one that's hard beast to conquer. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.